Papa's here. Papa's here.
What you come back for?
You throwing a big event tonight?
Your money come with blood.
All money come with blood, baby. Listen here. This ain't no house party.
Y'all ready to drink? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stink?
You want some?
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's gonna follow you home.
Like I hear the crickets do.
Still hurts coming back.
Why you here, Smoke? Smoke. Why you here?
Our daddy was an evil man. And he passed that evil down to us.
What's going on, everyone? This is Agent Clyde here with
Black Bonnie Bay. How's it going?
and we just got out of the movie well, it's not called The Sinners, it's Sinners.
Sinners.
Yeah. So excuse some of the rattling. We are in vehicle, we are in transit. As it were, straight up, I see why I got 100%.
I'm Rotten Tomato.
Okay, should we start from the top or should we just go in,
No spoilers. Let's try not to do any spoilers.
Okay, so we're gonna go from the top and try not to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
We start off with Little Simmy, a preacher boy picking cotton, but it opens up. Yeah, sharecropper. It opens up with him bloodied and pulling up to his daddy's.
No spoilers, right?
That's a spoiler. That's just setting the scene.
That's the scene, but it's like,
How
do you feel about the movie?
Okay, I'll put it this way. Without going sequence by sequence, we'll just get into it. The movie had some very, very heavy Judeo-Christian religious overtones and undertones, alongside with Africana, Asiatic, and even Celtic religions and secularisms and paganisms. And it might sound like I'm making up words, but these are real things. Because I'm not sure what those cultures will call their worships or beliefs. Like, you had some of the voodoo, which was some of the African Groit stuff. They went into the history about people who are talented enough to tap into a mantra, if you will, that brings people on the verge of, being awakened or being lulled to sleep. And by lulled to sleep, basically death. So it has heavy influence in the cultures of people who are prophetizers, prophets, artisans, musicians, things that invoke the spirit within or spirits around them, as they were talking about. Like, they focus more on that African Groit system because, well, for obvious reasons, you can see who the cast of characters are. Now, with that being said, actually, I'm not going to go that way. We're going to go this way because that dude pulled out real quick. So we're going to go the other way. With that being said, the main character, the protagonist, Sammy, because we can say his name, it's whatever. He is now the reincarnation of that Groit, or that person, that shaman, if you will. We'll just use shaman. That's kind of what it is. His voice and his musical prowess allows otherworldly entities to interact. Problem, he's not trying to do all that. He just wants to be a singer.
Right.
So we have this dynamic with all the characters who are either deeply religious or deeply intertwined with their culture's beliefs on deities. And then you have the other side, which is the more, they call it secularism for worldly things. I guess the opposite, just religious. I guess it'd just be religious at that point, now that I think about it. With that being said, you have the misadventures really that have keep populating a lot of the different.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Let me bust a U-turn real quick. Yeah. Had to bust a U-turn. Had to make a quick mission. We're going to spin the block. Because now he hitting his brakes and he's turning left.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Do you see why?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get you.
Yeah, this is all going in the... We're uploading this shit. This is real time. We just got done seeing the movie Sinners about the KKK. And anyways, that just happened.
Yeah.
Motherfucker was actually following us. He was telling me, no, we're going...
We had a little tailgater.
Yeah, we had someone following us right now. Like
Turn
like,
for turn.
No, dead ass. Like, but anyways,
Has to go to UE real quick.
they go. I think that's security, but that might have been citizens on patrol.
Gotcha. Because were they turning when we were turning?
They
first time?
they literally turned and they went the same distance and then they went the same block and then they turned on the same street I did. And
Even when you were turning up here at the light, they were
yes.
trying to turn and then that's where
That's
you're like, nah.
yes. That's why I said, hold on, we ain't gonna go that way because I'm not trying to lure them to where we need to go.
Wow. That's
Or not even
crazy.
lure them, let them tell us.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. We got a little.
Is that him?
Hold on.
We can leave the city. We don't have to go back home.
I can't go too far, dear.
Okay, I can drive.
Yes, but this guy's coming up quickly, so I doubt it. We'll spin the block on the other side because this dude's actually pushing 45 right now.
Okay.
Now he out here. Yeah, he out here.
Mustang.
Yeah, he got an 03.
Yeah, that's exactly the one.
Yeah.
03 Mustang.
Yeah, it is.
Cobalt blue.
We're gonna spin the block and then hit it back on the other side.
Yeah.
Without sorry for the delay because this was real time. Like this is happening in real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in it's a battle between belief and following what the herd is doing. Because if you look at the main antagonist, he does paint a pretty picture. It's like, look, they're gonna do what they're gonna do regardless because of the color of your skin, bro. But what I'm telling you, what I'm offering you, the devil lies, you know what I'm saying? What I'm offering you is something that's true unity, blah, blah, blah. Everything's going to be peachy creamy. Knowing damn well it ain't going to be, right? So then, I know I've been doing a lot of talking. She's going to get it in too. But the overall theme of it is this, that you have to make certain moves in your life. Whether you are a believer, non-believer, just understand that there are entities out in this world that are not only aggressive, because that dude was aggressive towards the end, they're very persuasive. And they come in forms that you recognize to be allies.
Or appealing.
Yeah, it's a infatuation type of, I don't want to say curse, it's just an ability, really.
Yeah.
Because it's hard not to do this without spoilers, because you know what? I'm going to pass it on to Bonnie to let her go ahead and say something.
It was so many things. So many things going on. Every bit of that 2 hours and, what was it, 18 minutes or something? Yeah. You needed that.
Be sure to stay towards the end.
Don't leave after the credits.
Leave.
You need to stay towards the end and watch the full movie.
Yeah.
The full movie.
Yeah.
Watch the full movie. So the experience that we had was we had these seats that are also low-key interactive with the...
They're called D-boxes.
Yeah, D-boxes. So, like, during certain scenes, like, sometimes when they're in the car or whatever, because it's supposed to be, like, in the 1930s. So they had them old school cars, some old school Fords.
Older than that. It was older than that. It was 1912.
No, they said 1930s. 1932.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought I saw 19... Oh, when he was... Probably when... Okay, yeah. Never mind. The 1912 was the flashback thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
So when they're in the car, the old school cars that, like, the old school car, when we're talking about like an old car, like the very first type of car that existed, when it's on the road, because all the roads are not paved, you could feel the seats.
Yeah, you can feel the undulation of the gravel
and it would
roads.
Turn, like the seat would also lean towards a certain angle or another angle,
and it moved with the camera angles too.
It did. So I was like, okay, that's a cool movie to see that with that feature. It makes it a little bit more interactive than just sitting in the theater, because it's like moving with the,
It's a good massage,
with the movie.
too.
It was. It really was a good
But get
massage.
back to the movie, though.
Okay, so the movie in general, I would say, definitely, I would recommend, because it's a movie where there's religious undertones, there's musical aspects, there's the lore of how people transform into one thing. I'm trying not to spoil it, y'all. Really trying not to spoil it.
What I'm saying, you know
But
what?
it's just like the transformation that certain people have in the sequence is it's interesting. It's interesting, and it's crazy to think that also when you think of it one way, it ends up being the opposite of what it was. So it's like, okay.
You're not
Like, towards the end.
Give a little more, because that's not really explaining much.
Like towards the end, right? Because
We just pulled over because we're waiting to see if this motherfucker's gonna pass by again.
oh really?
Yeah, because I'm not too keen on it.
Oh, your lights are on. So
I know I'm about to turn the lights off right now, but you know it's yeah. I don't play that shit.
No, I got you. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's still on. Oh,
There you
we
go. Yeah, drop the lights.
Boom.
I'm gonna leave the engine running, so whatever.
Yeah, because we're.
Yeah. Because if them niggas pop up, then we're gonna have a problem. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and finish.
So I would say that it's there's an emotional draw where you get to know their backstories, because it's following a set of brothers,
Twins.
right?
Smoke and Stack.
Yep. And it's real interesting just to see their journey and see their paths, because they go in, completely different paths.
Who? The brothers?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They stayed together. Oh, no spoilers. Damn.
And not even just that. Think about the end. Were they together?
Technically.
No, they're okay.
Technically.
Okay.
Technically.
If that's how you want to look at it.
Okay, well, look, if you stayed around this long for this review, I'm gonna take it from here. Let me see this.
Okay, go
Give me
ahead.
mine. Yeah. So this is mainly a hot take review, okay? Because it is difficult to not spoil it. It just came out this week? No, this week.
It came out on Friday. Today.
Oh
is
shit!
Saturday.
It came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh wow! No wonder tickets were expensive.
Yeah. Either yesterday or Thursday, like literally, like
Yeah.
a couple of days ago.
So take this as a hot take review. It is full price. I will tell you that right now. If you're a person who wants to be technical, I'll go ahead and drop it to you right now. It is a historical action zombie horror film, because it takes place in Mississippi, the deep South, and for some black folks, who actually had relatives or are deeply connected or understand history overall, will feel like, yeah, this is a horror fucking film, because everywhere you go, you can either be lynched or killed. Even one of the characters within the story, one of the blues players, I'll just leave it at that, even tells a story about how the man was doing a legit life and they just still lynched him. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Although he might have made a fatal mistake. It's up to you to decide that. But the thing is, he was just living his life. Kind of like how we're trying to do right now.
Right.
However, I know we're a far cry from the 1920s and beyond that. But the film itself has a overtone of mobster mentality because of the twins. And it has a religious undertone, or I'll say undercurrent, because it definitely was mob ties. Like that's what the twins are all about. They're about that life. Then you have the preacher's son, Sammy, who's also trying to figure out his role in the world. He's been living underneath his uncle. Really, that was his uncle.
The preacher is his dad.
Oh wait, no, that's their uncle. Excuse me. The twins, that's their uncle, because their daddy
Is a preacher.
Yeah, well, remember, I'm trying to spoil it. What? Okay, let's just say they're connected by blood.
Just say your overall feelings towards it.
Okay.
It's hard not to explain.
Yeah, because this is getting long in the tooth, and I don't want to just bore you guys. Okay, so look, it is 5 stars. It is full price. I didn't know it came out yesterday. Well, now 2 days ago, because now it's Sunday.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, by the way.
Happy 420.
420 if you do it. Yeah, I'll say it that way without spoiling. I did not see any serious flaws with this film, technically speaking, from cinematography to scoring, because the soundtrack was brilliant, especially when they got to that point where, you know, the music was playing. And I think the characters were well flushed out for the many characters they had, from A characters, B characters, and C. Hell, even the D characters.
You got to know their backstory.
You got to know some of their backstories, and then you'll see how they were connected to main characters A and B.
Yep. And
So
that was done beautifully.
yeah, that was well connected. Because most times when you see side characters, when they go off on their little tangent and try to get the information out to kind of make you feel something for them, it's kind of half-hearted. It's half-assed. It's just like, hey, we got to tie this in just to give them a reason why this person knows somebody. No, there's actually a history with the twins and the city they're in, why they came back, who knows about them, and then why they have a level of damn, I don't say notoriety. Yeah, I'll say notoriety. We'll say both. We'll say, because depending on your perspective, you'll say, yeah, they're infamous, but the other ones will say they're notorious because, hey, they got off the plantation. So, you know.
That's true.
So it depends on your perspective on, you know, Jesus Christ. So, like I said, I gave it a full price. This was just a hot take. Maybe one day we'll run it back and do a full review and kind of walk you through it.
Once it's been out, because
it's got to be out for a while.
Obviously.
Yeah. So my take is full price. Pay for it. Get yourself a drink if you can. I don't know if you're of age. Don't do anything stupid to get yourself jammed up. But if you can, have yourself a nice beverage, especially if you are of the Africana descent. You will have this hit home a little bit more than probably other cultures that go see this, because, you know, they did drop in the Asian influence, which is dope. That's cool that they showed that the Orishas and all that. Not Orishas. I keep calling them Orishas. Not geishas. It starts with an O. I don't want to say Onamura, but there's you can see how they tied in that every culture has that person who is like the shaman that can connect the worlds from the living and the ancestors and beyond through music. And that's why, you know, if you're a religious type, you're part of the Abrahamic religions, you know that Lucifer and all that stuff was, you know, the musician in heaven. And you can see how that kind of has this ebb and flow within the film. So that's my take. I did a lot more talking than Bonnie because I was looking at it from a very technical perspective, because I dabbled in those worlds that they showcased. And, you know, it is.
Want to elaborate on that?
Well, do you really want to elaborate? You want to hear about that? Because you know a little bit, but I ain't told you everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't tell you everything.
You want to say that offline?
I don't care. I've lived it. It's not a matter of do I want to hide it. I lived it.
I got that.
So I have the experiences. I have firsthand perspectives on it. It's not a third or second.
Which is fair, but is this something that you want to elaborate on, or do you not?
I'll say this. If you're a person who grew up in a religious household, whether it be Christianity, Judaism, Islam, or even Catholicism, I'll throw them a bone. You'll know that there's a lot of gaps. And those gaps generally can't be filled by someone telling you anything. It is a experience earned and learned. When you start having those seeds of doubt, which are fine. It's called skepticism in the secular world. When you have these ideas that go outside the confines of what you were indoctrinated, because it is indoctrination, whatever, I don't care what you call it, it's indoctrination. Someone has to tell you something for you to start to understand it, and then you start seeing things in that perspective. But then when you come of a certain level of cognizance, you start to be able to have that split, or the cognitive dissonance is what a lot of people like to call it, when you're born and it is force-fed a specific way to live because that's what your parents were telling you, and then you see the world through your own lens, and then you start to diverge, or you double down. A lot of people do. Like the Amish, they give their young class of people one moment throughout their lives called Rumspringa. They get to go out and be debaucherous and go out into the world and see how it really works. To see if their teachings were accurate from what they learned from being a youngling to adolescence. And then they have a choice. I think, don't quote me, do not quote me, but I think they have probably around 24 hours, if not 48. Someone who understands that culture a lot better can explain it. But I know it's called Rumspringa, and they have that one moment of night of just freedom that says, hey, go out, get it out of your system. Because if you come back, you're in it for life. But if you choose the other side, you can't come back. I'm not.
Pick a side.
Yeah, it's literally choose a side. We taught you everything that we know about the world as it is. And even with modern technology, the Amish still exists. There's a reason why they still keep going on.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, what do you think is true? It's up to you. We protected you. And yes, we understand that you're going to realize that this was indoctrination. It's kind of a smart way to do it, really. It's saying, hey, you're of a certain age and you have free will and agency. Make a choice. And when you do, stick with it. It's no hard feelings. What you want to do, it's on you. What you want to do, it's on you. Y'all might hear that song somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, like I said, I had my own various. I'm gonna say various because it's been multi waves actually. Right. Versions of Rumspringa.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up non-denominational Christian. I abandoned it. I've said this publicly. I've abandoned it at one point. I then became Muslim for a little bit. Left that. Kept the beard. Then I was atheist for a while because I was just pissed off because I started losing family members. The whole ring. When you lose family, you kind of blame God, you blame everybody. You start, you're looking for answers in something that didn't make sense because you want something to comfort that hurt.
Right.
And then I came back, and then I became, more spiritual, and I'm like, okay, I do believe in Christ, I do believe in God, I do believe in all that, and I recognize the Bible more as a historical, contextual book because there also is chapters of the Bible missing. Let's be real. Not to mention there's multiple variants of it. I'm not even talking about languages. I'm talking about multiple variants of the verses of what is supposed to have been transpired. So I take the Bibles with a grain of salt. It is a great teaching tool if you're young and because you don't know anything. A lot of parables, especially Psalms and Proverbs, to kind of keep you safe. But if you read Corinthians, if you read the Phoenicians, if you read Kings, if you read, I forgot the one with the E. I think it's Ecclesiastes. If you read the Ecclesiastes, like I've been down that rabbit hole where I'm trying to find answers in a textbook that was written by some scribe in some monastery somewhere that was probably maybe pissed off and rewrote the verse because he was mad at the overlords that were making them write the Bibles. Because, that's how they had to write the Bibles back then. They didn't have the printing press until the printing press came out. It's a whole historical thing. That's why I said, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, we can. I can give you the pathways that I took to kind of find some type of solace and peace with it and make do with, hey, look, you're not going to understand all truths in one lifetime. Don't try. What you need to do is find out what it sucks. You're cherry picking, and that's not how religion should work. But religion doesn't have all the answers. Sometimes you just have to go through some shit, and then you just figure it out. Now, God willing, you survive it, whatever you believe in, but you make it through that crucible, and you come out forged, and you're much stronger. And now you come out a little bit wiser. But the thing is, you can only be, it's the same thing with sports, video games, you name it. There's going to be a period of suck. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you see that with Sammy in the movie. This is how this all ties in. You're going to see a period of suck, and then you're going to see a period of triumph, and then you're going to see a period of acceptance. Like towards the end, like when Homeboy was saying, drop it.
Yeah.
And he made a choice. That's all I'm going to say. That's not spoilers.
Okay.
That's not spoilers because I didn't say when it happens.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, damn, why is it always the minivans, dude? We're going to get out this city, bro. I'm about to get up out of here. I just pulled over to the little park right here. But anyways, I did a lot of talking. Bonnie didn't really put in. You want to say something, or you kind of you seeing one-to-one on this?
Yeah.
Here, take the mic.
Yeah, I pretty much I don't really have anything to add because you pretty much said everything. So
You ain't got nothing to add? I mean, I know I was doing a lot of, wind babbling, because I can go on these topics because I've dabbled. Still do.
What I will say is that it was interesting how, like, damn, that's a spoiler. I can't even get into it. Just watch the movie.
It's hot take.
Just watch the movie, y'all, because it really is. It's going there.
Oh, let me help you. Let me help guide you. Okay.
Yeah.
Full price, matinee, or rental?
Full price.
Should you come in open-minded or should you be reserved?
You can be reserved and still understand what's going on, but you should come in open-minded. But you can come in reserved if you wanted to.
Do you think it will challenge someone's beliefs based upon what you saw because of how the religious overtones and undertones were set?
Yes and no. Yes, because if they're not already inclined to that direction, you get me?
So if you're wavering, do you suggest someone not see this movie? If you're not strong in your faith?
No, I think you should, because then it might help you.
It might solidify it.
It might be like, oh, well, okay. It just might add some more questions or clarity depending on how you're looking at it. It really depends. Me, I'm not on the fence about my beliefs, so yeah. I don't really know I can't really give like a one-to-one perspective on that.
Well, that's what I was saying before I passed the mic to you. It's more of a look. If you want to see a religious version of a hero's journey of, I know not everyone's a little black boy in Mississippi, don't get me wrong, but if you're a person who was raised in a religious background and it became your foreground, and then you go out into the world and it starts to challenge all those things and you don't have anyone to help guide you through and give you answers, this movie may either knock you off the fence or put you back on the other side to make you go study.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they even touched on the fact that this religion that we got here over here was given to us. It's not our religion.
They did.
They touched on that. That's why I said it's hard to do this review because it's more going to be a hot take review, like how we did with the other movie, with the other Jordan Peele movie that came out when we did a review like this.
Right. Speaking of, there's another Jordan Peele movie coming out soon.
Talking about him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the trailer today.
We're going to see that too.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot going on. So thanks for listening. This has been Agent Clyde.
Black Bonnie Bay.
Yeah. So look, if y'all got any questions, I will be in the comments. It's just up to y'all to actually leave a comment at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have a weak religious institution inside of you, I would say tread lightly with this movie. Because it will make you question a couple things because you're like, I don't have to be a black boy in Mississippi to understand that. That's just part of that religious overtone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, we're out. All right, let's get out of here.
Adios.
Hey, quick addendum to our hot take here. We didn't even go over the technological prowess it was to replicate Michael B. Jordan into a twin. We didn't talk about the technological prowess behind some of the cinematography, some of the visual effects. It's because, honestly, when we saw this movie, it was kind of a spurred moment. I didn't know it came out on the 18th. We just saw it between Saturday the 19th and now 4/20. So with that being said, I just want to add this towards the end now that we're back in our home here and just say that we will do a full review. It's way too soon to say anything else other than what we put in that track earlier. So just to, add that last bit. You want to say something since now we're stationary?
Yeah, I just want to make it be known that we are not trying to give away any spoilers. Hence why it's not a really fleshed out.
It's a hot take.
Yeah, it's a hot take. So please go watch the movie for yourself.
Yep.
And come back in the comments. And if you do come back in the comments, let us know what part you like, but try not to spoil anything.
Yeah, I think after, 2 weeks should be fair.
Then we'll come back.
That's enough time to do. So 2 weeks from today, from this video, we'll record our thoughts as it's fresh and then post the review later on. So yeah, this is definitely a hot take, people. Just want to make that clear. That's why I had to add this to the edit. Okay. Have a good one.